Sup, ladies and gentlemen? We are live, back in action again on Thursday, May the 3rd. We are here at the Lim Residence, broadcasting to you at 10:07 p.m. Hope that you guys got a chance to watch Being Me with Mickey Grace. I was there for the majority of it, and it was a very powerful show. So if you haven't watched from the beginning, I highly suggest you do on our channel. So what's going on, brother? What are we drinking here?
Sunshine mate.
Sunshine mate? Mate? Fuck, I'm not gonna sleep now. Whatever. So what we wanted to do today is that we have a blog called Holistic Entrepreneur, in which we create a couple of YouTube videos and some blog articles specifically on the topic of holistic entrepreneurship. And so we wanted to make this show. I need you to... I need volume on you. That'll help.
Is that better?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Okay. Hello?
There you
There
go.
you go.
Hello, hello, hello? Yeah, we're good.
We're good?
All right, sick. Yeah, so essentially, we wanted to do an episode where we
Tastes
talk
like
about...
morning.
Is it?
Sunshine.
Oh,
Sunshine.
okay. And we're having it late at night. Whatever. It's all good.
Yeah,
Need a little pick-me-up. It's the end of the day on a busy Thursday.
Yeah. We had a good day today.
Yeah, totally, man.
Show earlier.
So we wanted to have a discussion specifically on entrepreneurship, just to discuss, what, I guess, some pitfalls, some myths, kind of critique on what other people are saying about entrepreneurship, and what our take is on some of these articles, and kind of expand and explore and continue the conversation about holistic entrepreneurship if some people don't know what that already is. First of all, I guess let's introduce it. If this
Holistic entrepreneurship.
this whole topic, yeah.
Well, it's we've discussed it. Holistic entrepreneurship being an whole encompassing life. Does it have to? It's got to put point in me. It's not like yours, right?
No, this one is
it's
like
gotta be point. Right,
yeah,
that's cool. Just so having a holistic life. So having your business, but having the other aspects of your life also be important and affluent and thriving. So, your health, your relationships, your marriage, kids for me, but health, relationships, friendships, self-development, having all those other things along with your business and finances. So it's just a whole encompassing thought of being a complete entrepreneur, not just entrepreneur, but being an entrepreneur, but also having a complete life.
It's almost like a extending the humanity to entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship can end up being such a like a functional, practical thing to do on a daily basis, where it's just like go, you're a robot and do all this stuff. But I mean, like we were talking about earlier with the homeschooling stuff, it's hard to distinguish, what parts are learning and what parts are just, kind of living.
Yeah.
But at their age, like they're always learning. So as an entrepreneur, it's the same thing. You're always learning and you're always doing stuff. So, I mean, when you go up, your business goes up. When you go down, your business goes down. So whether that's your relationships or your health or your family or what's going on in your head or your finances or whatever it is, if you can take care of the entire being, then that's where you have the holistic entrepreneur ideal lifestyle.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm starting to realize, it's not like a destination. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm gonna do this and this and this, and I'll have that holistic entrepreneur ideal. It's just it's a journey. It's a journey, constant thing to be working towards, a process.
And the way I view it, it's like a lifestyle. Right, it's how you live your day-to-day life. It's how I live my day-to-day life. Making sure I have time for the kids, my wife, I have time for my family, time for friendships, time for other things that interest me, and not just business.
And you know what? Everyone has the same 24 hours a day.
Yes.
And everyone's so busy and they don't have time for stuff. It's like reading. Oh, who has time for reading? Like, are you kidding me? Even if you just read like a little bit every week.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, man.
Yeah, it's giving back to yourself.
Yeah,
there's so many entrepreneurs there,
or
or there's so many people who are, I want to be an entrepreneur, and then it's, they go start a business or they go start a franchise, and then that just becomes their life.
Yeah.
And then what's there at the end? What's
Yeah.
what are you doing it for?
And you know what?
I want to be an entrepreneur so I can have more time.
Well, you know what? If you're an entrepreneur, you're gonna work 60, 80 hours a week.
Yeah,
Crazy. Because you could be just walking down the street, then your mind goes to work, and you're already working. Like, you don't get to log that time in. You can't like really keep track of that stuff.
Right.
But you are working like 60, 80 hours a week, whether it's problem solving or whether it's talking to people or wherever you go when you're buying stuff, when you're at vendors. When you're at the yoga studio or you're going to the store, like there's a potential to do business everywhere
yeah.
from every single conversation, because when it's your business, you take that with you wherever you go. Like that's a big thing. You're always
on.
be, yeah, you
You
always
can't always be on.
yeah, it's hard to have that lifestyle if you've never done it before. But I mean, I think that's the whole thing about being yourself and being authentic about your business. As long as you're consistent, I mean, what can you really complain about?
Well, I mean, we also subscribe to the, I guess, the new rich Timothy Ferriss type of entrepreneur, where we're looking for the MED, right? Minimum effective dose.
Yeah.
What's the least we could put in for the most? 80-20 rule. We subscribe to that. 80% of our business comes from 20%, or the 20% of the business we do will produce 80% of the results.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also, I think, realizing that and putting that to use so that you can explore the other aspects of your life that you are interested in, and you're not just 24/7 business. Like, so you got to unplug every now and again.
And you know what? It's like, I think one of the main myths that people have is that I get to do what I love when I work for myself. And that's not necessarily true.
Right.
And you know what? Actually, that's absolutely not true. Because let's have an example. Let's say you're an interior designer, right? And you're passionate about interior design. So it's like, the way the rooms of a house look and feel, and the way the furniture, goes together, and the flow of the entire house, and how it's aesthetically and visually appealing.
Right.
So that might be your passion. And you might want to pursue a career as an interior designer. But not only are you an interior designer, you're the admin, you're the marketing, you're the sales, you're the accounting, you're the freaking coordinator for everything. Yeah. So you got to wear all these different hats. So like 90%, maybe 10% is what you love doing, and 90%, well, I mean, when you're first starting off as like a solo entrepreneur, you're everything.
Yeah, you
so
got to do
90% of the stuff you don't like doing, and that could be for 2 or 3 years you're doing stuff that you don't like doing.
Yeah.
So that's complete BS.
That is, yeah, absolutely. And I don't think a lot of entrepreneurs, starting entrepreneurs really realize that.
Yeah.
That there's all that other shit that you got to do along with the stuff that you really like to do. If you split it up to 80-20, right?
I know.
10% of it is what you like to do. The other 80-90% of it is the stuff that you...
Until you're making enough money to leverage it out to somebody else, that's going to be your responsibility. Yeah. And to continue growing your business at that pace is going to require 60 hours a week. So you got
it's stuff that you have to know how to do, because you can't unload it. You can't have somebody else do those duties unless you actually know how to do them, because then you know how to manage that person who's actually doing whatever it is that you don't like to do.
Like how are you supposed to hire somebody for a job or a duty without knowing the job yourself? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes people will make that mistake where they delegate something, and maybe 50% of what they're delegating should just be completely eliminated. Like, it's not even an effective part of the job. Like, you can just do without that,
right? And
you're paying for it. So until you find out these little tweaks and stuff yourself, I mean, you're going to be doing stuff that you don't like.
Yeah.
And it's not about working on your passions, because you might be an artist. You know what I mean? Like, if you're an artist, and you're a painter, what's your income potential?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's so much risk in pursuing your passions, which is, I mean, everyone should be pursuing their passions in one form or another, but some passions compared to others will pay more if you're doing it, as a full-time type of business.
Yeah.
And where others like it's more practical to do it on a part-time basis or find ways to have like a flexible job or like have a full-time primary business that gives you that flexibility to work on your craft or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not everybody did it like us, or should do it like us.
Yeah. But you know what? You'll only know this when you try it.
Yeah,
When you do it.
Because I would never recommend, even, I mean, as my kids grow up, I would never recommend that they jump into entrepreneurship the way we started it.
Yeah. So, okay, from the way we started in business, we would come up with ideas and brainstorm. So that was the first thing that I wanted to kind of go over is that
Brainstorming.
yeah, brainstorming and mind mapping
mapping
in particular. So
yeah, we started that
2008
years ago?
maybe. 2008 or
Is that 4
2009.
years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And I don't even know. I can't remember. You know what? I think I got. There's a guy that I met who's kind of like a very techie guy. I can't remember his name right now. And he's a Filipino guy from Brampton, and he was probably the first person to show me what mind mapping was.
Oh, really?
You know what? And this was 2000 and before. That's before we started the Rent Busters. This is probably early 2009 before we started it.
Okay, just
And
right before.
Think about it. 2009. That's 3 years ago. And he was at that time. We sat down together, and he's talking about the stuff that he's into, and he's a very techie guy. And he's like, "I'm going to tell you right now what the future is. The future is cloud computing." And
Oh, yeah?
think about 2009. Wasn't really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at that time, he's just like, imagine it this way.
Because it's
You
still
know,
at that
all
time, it
your
was like
phones-
USBs and
Yeah, you would have to carry stuff.
CD.
Yeah, you
Well,
have to
no, I think
transfer.
CDs
it.
were sort of going
Yeah.
going out of style, but USBs were starting
Yeah.
to really get in that time.
But I was already into, just throwing it into Google Docs or like,
Google
just
Docs,
email
yeah.
it to myself and
Yeah.
just find it again afterwards because it's kind of a crappy way to do it. I mean, compared to what we have now. But he was essentially saying that, everything is just going to be like a window to the internet. Like it's just going to be a screen and you just access like all
Whatever
your
you
data into the cloud. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Cloud computing. Interesting. And then he just started explaining I don't know if it was like a business idea, like or something like that, that he was presenting to me. But he was explaining it through a mind map.
Oh,
And as he was showing me the mind map, he was just like, "This is how mind maps work." I'm just like,
Cool.
I'm like, wow. I'm like, I didn't even think of brainstorming that way. It's completely different.